Hi dancers, Jess here. I wanted to chat with you guys about something that's come up in some one-on-one sessions lately that I thought would be valuable to many of you. So I wanted to share it with all of you. So often we are obsessing over our bodies in class and how they look and what's wrong with them. And it really tends to take away from your actual goals. It takes away from your actual dancing goals and it takes away from your actual technique goals. So if you find yourself obsessing over your body in class, what's wrong, what you think should look different, things you think should be smaller, or more toned, or any of these words that we tend to project onto ourselves. I want you to think about this as a way to shift and to come into a different focus so that you can bring it back to the dancing. So technique goals, here's kind of why I think this happens. Technique goals can feel overwhelming because they are big and overarching and there's like so much involved, whereas the body goals we sort of really simplify and we hear advice like eat less, move more, which makes it sound like body change or body shifts are so easy and simple and quick. So then we lose out on this possibility to focus on our technique in a different way. When we look at our technique goals, we'll often look at these big things we want to improve, like Petit allegro, which includes so much stuff. We think about pirouettes, which again is like so many things, and pirouettes are throughout class, and there might be a pirouette combination or pirouettes in choreography. So there's like all these different times when it might come up and it feels big and like something we can't actually improve. And we also do this thing where we tell ourselves, I'm not a turner or I'm not a jumper. And then again, there's like these whole big sections of class and choreography that you've kind of taken yourself out of and said, this is not something I can fix. It's too hard. It's too much. It's just not something I can do. So I'm going to instead put my focus on my body and possibly, tearing yourself apart or thinking about things within your body that you think are not good enough or need to change. And again, sometimes it's because we look at the body stuff and we say, this is simple, this should be easy, I can change this. This is more within my control than the technique piece. The technique is so hard and it's supposed to take years to improve upon anyway. So let me just put my focus on the body instead. And, we say things like, if my body were different, I would be instantly better. If my body were different, I would get the job. If it's just my body, this is all that really needs to change. And I did this throughout my career and it really stalled my growth as an artist and dancer. I would say I only went so far within the professional dancing world because I was so caught up on this desire to change my body without thinking about what I could actually do within my technique to improve as an artist and dancer. I've actually improved quite a bit since I stopped dancing professionally because of the approach, because the approach is so different and not body focused, but more about how the actual movement feels, where my strength lies, what physical shifts I can make, like in actually how I'm using my body in order to change my dancing. So I want you guys to take it back to your technique goals. Bring the focus back to the technique by identifying super small things within each area that you can focus on. So if Petit allegro is something that you struggle with, for example, instead of just saying to yourself, oh, if my body were different, I would be instantly better at Petit allegro, I want you to look at Petit allegro and say, okay, let's look at each step within Petit allegro. How can you improve your glissade specifically? What can you do to change the way you're approaching a pas de chat? Look at each and every step. In addition to that, maybe you're going to look at foot articulation. How can I really work my feet in a Petit allegro, and how is that going to change my approach to it? How is that going to change my dancing? Maybe you'll look at your turnout in pliés during Petit allegro, or perhaps the tightness of your fifth position and that clarity in movement. And again, whatever the things are that you say to yourself, this is too big, there's too many things, and you feel overwhelmed by it, or the things that you've told yourself you're not good at. Like for me, it was turning. I said, I'm not a turner. I can't pirouette, but then there would be some days when I would do like triple and quadruple pirouettes relatively simply. However, I still had in my head that I was not a turner, so I had a hard time sustaining those, what I would call fluke moments at the time, but they were actually demonstrating to me that I should have been capable of doing these things. So you also have to reframe any of the thinking around technique that you have. If you tell yourself, I'm not a turner, I want you to make sure you go back in the mind and say, no, I can work on turns. I can improve upon my turns. There's a lot of possibility here. So I want you guys to try this, especially if you find yourself in class obsessed with your body. If you're overly focused on the body and what needs to change about you physically, try this shift in how you approach your technique, and it can really help to take some of that focus off of changing the self and instead like seeing the possibility of what you can actually adjust and improve upon moving forward. And then I just wanted to say, for those who participated in the journal challenge, way to go. It ended yesterday. You all did so amazingly well, sticking to it and showing up and like typing in the accountability thread and sharing your wins. And I'm just really excited that you guys took the time to show up and do that. And I think now, and this was part of the challenge, but I want you now to really think about what were the benefits to you of journaling? How did it change your approach to your days and your dancing and your life? And get clear on those things and make sure that you really see them in your mind's eye and come back to them when you're struggling to stay on the journaling bandwagon. If you haven't already created some like routines around journaling, if you've not planned it in where, every day in the morning I'm journaling or every night before bed I'm journaling, create some of those consistencies in the habit so that again it's something that you'll more easily come back to. If you struggle with journaling prompts, I want you guys to look into books that might have like a daily reading or just short chapters, anything on self-growth, personal development, spirituality, whatever you feel you need a little bit more of in your life right now. And that's going to help to give you some inspiration on the days when you might feel challenged with the actual journal writing. And then the winner of the Veraria official notebook, beautiful notebook that you can use as your own journal, is Christina Gallant, and I'll be in touch with you, Christina, to get you your notebook. And if anyone did not participate in the journal challenge, but you're interested in getting those emails, I'm going to set them up so that they can go out automatically to anyone who signs up moving forward. I have to get the sign up page already, but if you're interested, you can send me a DM with your email address. Just let me know you want the journal challenge. And it's 10 days to get you going. And we just had one beautiful round of it and everyone did such a great job. And I would love to provide that as a resource to those of you who would like to implement a journaling practice, but are struggling to get it started. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Let me know if you give this approach to technique a try and how it goes for you. If you're planning to try it, why don't you give me a thumbs up in the comments, and I'll chat with you all soon. Have a great rest of your day.